Hey y'all, happy 2020. So we get this to stabilize for you. Sorry about that. It's January 1st, 2020, and thought it'd be good to do a bit of a status update. You've probably got a ridiculous number of drone practice videos from getting an early Christmas present from my wife of a drone for a lot of it for full-time RVing. Also, about a week ago, day before Christmas, I finally got a travel trailer. Was really conflicted between trying to wait and get my credit score just right and try to finance one with the money that I had from a Christmas bonus, or could I pay cash for one, which obviously wouldn't be nearly as nice. And I just came across one that was a really good deal for what it was. And thought, hey, if we could just own it outright, that just removes all the worries. We're not locked into anything. It doesn't put pressure on our current situation. It's just a piece of freedom, even if it's not that nice. It's a Terry 29L in 1995. What it doesn't have is a bunkhouse or an extra bedroom. It's just got a pull-out sofa kind of in the middle, but it's sort of in its own separate area. There's another desk there. And I think that'll do. The bathroom is a good size. The bedroom is okay. And then there's a standard dinette and a very small kitchen. And I can work in the dinette. We're even going to do a desk in the bedroom on Lisa's side of the bed so that she can actually just have a whole space right there if she wants. She can stick looking at my face at the dining table. That's all the good news. The bad news is really excited to have this thing and very nervous to miss out on it. I just beat feet in front of a bunch of other people when this got put back on the market. The guy posted it, got inundated, and pulled it down. And I saw it come back up, and I got to him right away and was very committed. Like of course I've got to look at it first, but I think I'm very interested, and I would have cash to really hook. And I basically got dibs because I was the first person to make a commitment to something. There was probably 20 people behind me because it was ended up being 2,500. I think, from what I can tell, Nada would probably put it at more like 4,000. I mean, that's a good deal because it's in pretty good shape. So I grabbed it. I have my old pickup truck, which is pretty stout. The trailer's, I think, gross weight is a little over 5,000, and it was not only empty but doesn't even have propane tanks on it on the front. So it's no water in it or anything in storage. So it's light enough for the truck, and the truck is got a lot of steel on it. It's a pretty tough truck. So I picked it up, got everything hooked up. It didn't have lights, but it was daylight, and all I needed to do is get down a ways and get on a ferry out to where we are in the country, and just get it parked somewhere. And then I was gonna, from there, much closer to home, kind of run back and forth to it. And let's say we got to get the propane tanks. The jack doesn't work. That'd be pretty easy. Fix some batteries, little stuff like that I could really take care of here. So I really looked at it as like just towing, a salvage kind of. And it was fine, actually. I was very nervous because I haven't towed anything that big before. I held up traffic a lot because I was just very cautious and went very slow. I just got off the road every time I could to let people by as much as I could. And that went very well. Kind of in the neighborhood of 30 miles an hour tops. Sometimes 35. And then I got on the freeway, and the nice part of the freeway was I wasn't blocking anybody. Some people were annoyed that I'm taking up the right lane, but it's 4 or 5 lanes where we were. So I just stayed right, tried not to push too fast, and went quite a ways. And I was on a very slight downhill, not much. And I don't remember if somebody drove past me, but from all the videos I've watched, a semi driving past me would do it. I started to get sway, and it was pretty slight at first, and I was really looking for it, I was paying attention for it, because I've always been very paranoid about that. And I've kind of obsessed over how do I prevent that. I didn't have any sway bars. I will say this now, though, for anybody that's watching this, you just cannot even remotely even think of pulling a trailer without any sway bars on a freeway. If somebody can drive past you while you're at speed, it's like from what I went through, it's guaranteed to happen. It's like playing Russian roulette with all 6 bullets in the chamber. And I'm a little concerned at like why was that? I don't know. Why was that not apparent from all the paranoia that I developed? Anyway, so somebody could have driven past me. It could have just been going downhill. I actually got ticketed for following too close because the officer couldn't think of any other reason I'd have sway. He assumed I hit the brakes, and I said, actually, I never hit the brakes until I was completely out of control and going into the ditch. So I'm driving along, I start to see sway. The first thing I do after rehearsing it in my head a million times, stomp on the gas. Hard as I could. Well, the weight of the trailer and the truck, and it's a 50-year-old truck, it started to slowly pick up speed. That was nowhere near what it needed. It needed a quick boom. A lot of power might have done it. But this trailer just did what I've seen in videos, and I've seen people in front of me before. Just goes wider, 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 and nothing you can do. Stepping on the gas doesn't do anything. It's just, and then all of a sudden you can feel that the steering wheel has no influence on anything. So jackknifed, and then just slid sideways off the freeway into a ditch and up a ramp up to like a way station off ramp. So the very front tire of the truck was almost touching the pavement on that ramp. So I spanned all the way across from the freeway to up onto that ramp. Amazingly, the only real, damage was the front tire. The left front tire peeled off the rim, just dug up a bunch of dirt. I ended up taking that just off the truck, taking it to Les Schwab, and they put it back on and cleaned it up, fixed it for free. It was fine. The damage to the trailer is mostly cosmetic, and like the batteries got banged up pretty good up front, but those batteries were already toast. So maybe their cases could have been, maybe those weren't in that bad of a shape, and they are now. But all told, it's dented, it's dirty, some stuff is bent, but everything is working. So very, very, very lucky. Every video I've ever seen, it never ends up that way. Even a dually pickup truck ends up upside down. It's like, Jesus. In addition to that, I'll post another video that my wife took yesterday on the way to the city. We drove across the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, which is famous for, it's called Galloping Gertie. When they first built it, it wasn't an earthquake. It was just some like 20-knot side winds that got it swaying, ironically, until it ripped itself in half, completely collapsed. I forget when this was, maybe the 20s or 30s or something like that, maybe the 50s, I don't know. Yeah, probably the 50s makes more sense. Regardless, we're on that bridge, the new version of it, of course, and there's a pickup truck in front of us, like an F-150, and it's got a full-size travel trailer behind it. And we've seen, the flashing signs about severe side winds. Today we know it's true. The trees have been bending, our car's been moving around. We get out on the bridge, and we're getting shoved around in a little Jeep, Jeep Cherokee, so it's aerodynamic. And I'm getting bounced around in the lanes. And I'm watching this guy in front of me all the way across, and not a wiggle, nothing. Not even a little bit of, nothing. Just straight on across the bridge. So we get across the bridge where we're no longer afraid he's going to go out of control, and drive past him and look, and he's got the simplest, cheapest, most basic anti-sway bar and a half-ton pickup. So that shit's no joke in it, and I feel really great to see it in person, to see how well it worked when it should have really thrown him out of control. That's going to give me a lot more confidence when I do pull again. And I'm trying to get a Hensley hitch, which everything I've seen about that looks like yeah, it's physically impossible to end up in that situation again. And I think having that kind of assuredness in my head is really going to help a lot. And I'm also not going to use this old truck again for that. So that's something to work on. Anyway, so that's off to a rough start. After a year of planning and searching and scratching our heads and thinking about financing and not having any idea what I was going to get for my Christmas bonus, that's where we landed, and just paying cash for one and getting started. And that helped a lot of people's videos about, saying, hey, just, don't let it slow you down. Get what you can get. You'll go from there. And that's, I've done the math enough. I'd spreadsheet like crazy, and I know as soon as we start, then it opens up all kinds of possibilities. Anyway, the kid's home, so I better go. Peace, people.